Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier last week we talked about Mega Leafeon, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Glaceon. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week I will be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or I want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, we'll be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Glaceon. Now, Glaceon is the last of the 4th gen eeveelutions we are going to be talking about, and obviously since 4th gen only had 2 eeveelutions, this is technically the last one. But regardless, there's something about Glaceon that I like, but I can't put my finger on it. I said this in pretty much almost all the eeveelution videos that I've done, but there's just something about Glaceon I really like. Now, it's not that it's like its design is simplex of what I like, it's just that I really like its design, and also for its Mega Evolution is part of the reason why I want to Mega Glaceon, is that I want to see what its design is going to look like, and also I wanted to see it do way better than it is right now in competitive play. Because Glaceon being an Ice type is one of the weakest typings in the metagame, because it's weak to the most common typings used in like competitive play, like Fire type, Fighting type, Rock type, and Steel type. They both all have physical moves from those typings, and they all have special moves from that typing, which pretty much just bops Glaceon. So I would love to see Glaceon get a Mega Evolution and be a little bit more bulkier, and a little bit more offensive, and a little bit more speedy. So as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, that's exactly what I've done. But as you can tell for its physical attack, I did leave it alone, base 60, because honestly, Glaceon's stats are high enough to the point where is that I don't need to decrease a stat to increase another stat, because honestly, just increasing it with 100 points for its Mega Evolution is actually enough, and adding like maybe for instance like 20 more points would kind of be a little bit too overpowered, just in my opinion. I mean, obviously when it comes to Mega Evolution, the whole point of a Mega Evolution is to make a Pokemon more OP than it actually is. So that's part of the reason why I left its physical attack alone, and there's pretty much no reason for me to actually decrease it or increase it at the same time, because if you cannot tell by its special attack stat, Glaceon is a special attacker. Now, for its special attack, I increased it from base 130 to base 150. Now, like I said in previous Why Mega Evolve videos with the eeveelutions, some of the eeveelutions have base 110 stats and base 130 stats. Now, the base 130 stats in its special attack, so I wanted to increase it the same to base 150, because even regardless without the Mega Evolution, base 130 special attack is a monstrous stat to have, and increasing it to base 150, it's just going to be doing monstrous damage to your opponent, because if you know how hard a Angus-Slash can hit, even without like having max special attack, it's still going to be doing a lot of damage. So with base 150 special attack, it's just going to be doing a massive amount of damage to your opponent. Now, for its defenses, I increased its physical defense from base 110 to base 130. Now, like I said, some of the eeveelutions have the same base stat, and for the base 110 stat, it's in its defense, and I increased it to base 130 like I did for the other eeveelutions. Now, honestly, well, Ice being one of the worst, I don't want to say one of the worst, even though I did say it was, because I know I'm going to get a lot of people to are going to like start hating on me. He's like, oh, Ice type's my favorite typing. But when it comes down to it, Ice typing is one of the worst typings in the metagame. And having a Pokemon like Glaceon with base 110 physical defense without the Mega Evolution, it's actually pretty high. And with a Mega Evolution increasing it to base 130, it's actually going to be even higher, and it's going to be even more bulkier. And so that's one of the one things I really like about Glaceon, because even though it is one of the worst typings in the game, being Ice type, at base 130 physical attack or physical defense, it's going to be eating up maybe like 1 or 2 like super effective attacks, like for instance like a Fire Punch or like a Brick Break. It's like there's no way Glaceon's going to live like a Flare Blitz or like a Close Combat or like a High Jump Kick. There's just no way. Like even with base 130 physical defense, I don't see it living a Flare Blitz or High Jump Kick. Well, I can't, just depends on what Pokemon it's coming from. Like if it's coming like from like a Mega Charizard X with Flare Blitz, there's no way. Or if it's coming from like a Mega Lopunny, there's no way. I don't see that happening. But even regardless, base 130 physical defense is actually very, very bulky. Now for its special defense, same thing. What I wanted to do for its physical defense is that I wanted to increase it from base 95 to base 120. I wanted Glaceon to be a lot more bulkier than it was without the Mega Evolution, because like I said, ice typing is one of the worst typings in the metagame, and with base 120 special defense, it's going to be eating up hits for days. Well, I wouldn't say for days, but like it's going to be able to eat up special hits, because the typings that ice types are weak to, which are fire, rock, fighting, and steel, they all have special moves variant from that typing. Like for steel, it has flash cannon. For rock, it has ancient power. For fighting, there's vacuum wave and focus blast, and obviously for fire, there's like fire blast, overheat, and flamethrower. So I wanted to increase its special defense to base 120, so then there's a potential way for Glaceon to actually live like a flamethrower or like a vacuum wave, for an example, because base 120 special defense is actually very high. So that's part of the reason why I increased it to base 120. I wanted to make it a lot more bulkier, and also I wanted to have Glaceon potentially live like super effective attacks, because I don't really see Glaceon living any super effective attacks coming from like any Pokemon. Like, I just don't. Okay, just to be fairly honest, I don't. Now, for its physical defense and special defense, if I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, I don't know the HP for Umbreon and Glaceon, but when it comes down to like defensive wise and how bulky they are, with the Mega Evolution stats that I've giving Glaceon, it's a little bit more bulkier than Umbreon, but that's just how I see it. But I know that Umbreon's one of its defenses at like base 130. I believe it's its special defense, and then like base 110 it's for its physical defense, if I'm not mistaken. And with base 130 in physical defense and base 120 in special defense, I believe it's a little bit more bulkier, just through my perspective of what I've done to it. So that's just a little thing that I actually think. That makes sense. And for its last for its speed, I increased it from base 65 to base 90. Now honestly, if you wanted, you can actually run Glaceon in a Trick Room team without the Mega Evolution, because it speeds at base 65, which makes it a very slow Pokemon to an extent. But I wanted to increase its speed to base 90, because then that way you can potentially run it in a Trick Room while also not running it in a Trick Room, because it could be both ways. Because honestly, the one thing that also is killing Glaceon is not because of the typing as well. Well, that's part of the reason, but it's also its speed as well, because since Glaceon is so slow, it's gonna be taking a hit before you actually deal damage to your opponent, and that's what's kind of killing Glaceon. So I wanted to increase it to base 90, that way it'll be a little bit more faster. And also, if you want to actually run it in a Trick Room, you can, because if you run 0 IVs with like a Quiet Nature, you're pretty much set to go for like a Trick Room Glaceon. So that's the reason why I increased it to base 90, that way you can actually run it either in a Trick Room or in a non-Trick Room, or you can even run it in a Tailwind team. I'm talking a lot about VGC because I play VGC. I do not play singles anymore, because honestly singles is boring to me, but that's besides the point. So base 90 is actually a very decent speed stat. Now for a regular Glaceon, its base stats at 525, and with the Mega Evolution it's going to be at 625. I'm going to say this for pretty much every Mega Evolution video I do for the eeveelutions. All the eeveelutions have the same base stat. Now for its ability, I gave it the Refrigerate ability. Now like I said in every single one of my eeveelution videos, I said I wanted the eeveelutions to have something in common, and I wanted their abilities to have pretty much be uncommon. Now obviously you guys already know what Refrigerate does, because we have a couple Pokemon like Glalie and also Aurorus, I believe, Aurorus, or I can't remember the other evolution part for that line, but they get access to Refrigerate, which pretty much turns normal type moves into ice type moves, and that's what I wanted to do for the eeveelution. I want them to give them an ability that turns normal type moves into their corresponding eeveelution type, like for instance Glaceon's ice. So I gave it an ability, I gave it the ability Refrigerate, which turns normal type moves into ice type moves. And the one thing also why I've given the eeveelutions that type of ability is also to give it more stab moves, and because all of them do get access to Hyper Voice, and majority of the eeveelutions are special attackers, so getting a Hyper Voice boosted Refrigerate ability from that, it's just going to be doing a lot of damage. Even Pokemon that resist like ice type will still be dealing a lot of damage to it because of the Refrigerate ability. And with base 150 special attack, and also with Hyper Voice, bruh, you're gonna get blown back. Oh, I just sounded like an idiot. But, and also the eeveelutions do get access to double edge. I actually looked it up when Eevee actually gets access to double edge, and Eevee gets access to double edge at level 37. So if you want to run, like for instance, a physical Glaceon, if you wanted, you just level up Eevee to level 37, go to the corresponding rock that evolves Eevee into like Leafeon or Glaceon, and pretty much there you go. You're pretty much set in stone for having a physical Glaceon with double edge. So that's the reason why I've given it the refrigerate ability, and for its typing I left it alone as ice. Like I said, there's pretty much no reason for me to add on another typing for the eeveelutions because their single typing is actually perfect in my opinion. So with that, there is Mega Glaceon. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now later this week we are finally going to be talking about the final eeveelution for this series, and that's going to be Mega Sylveon. Yes, probably one of the, actually I would say it's the most overused eeveelution in my opinion, ever since X and Y was released, and also its hidden ability was released, which was Pixelate. But yes, on Friday we are going to be talking about Mega Sylveon to finish off the eeveelutions for this series. So like I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, also don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.